Welcome to GNED15 Tours. Today our itinerary is the home of the infamous Big Ben, home of the Beatles and the birthplace of the colorful English literature. So don't forget your passports as we will be exploring the historic England. I'm your tour guide Marty. Let's go! We're here. Let's start the tour. England is part of the main island of British Isles and lies off the northwestern of Europe. The capital of the country is London, where Shakespeare was actually born. It is during the 7th century when the people of British Isles produced historical literary pieces in English language. It is in various forms and genres such as autobiographies, biographies, and historical writings. There were also children's literature, fantasies, and essays. We are now entering the historic British Library and Museum. We will take a gander on 8 periods of English literature and a gallery of prominent English writers. On your left is an audio-video presentation of the history of English literature. Let's watch this video as each period will be briefly introduced.
The Anglo-Saxon period, the earliest time, 1096. The making of England and the invasion of Roman Empire in the 4th AD. The attacks of Vikings, etc. Beowulf is the earliest literature, the national epic of the Anglo-Saxon, and one of the striking features, the use of alliteration. Alliteration is an alliterative verse. Certain accented words in a line begin with the same consonant sound.
And now, we are down to the medieval period. This period is under the Norman conquistador named William, the Duke of Normandy. On 1066, the Battle of Hastings happened. This period is also the mark of establishment of feudalism. Most of the literature in the medieval period includes Langland, English ballad, and romance. One of the examples of Langland is Piers the Plowman, which is an allegory. Allegory is an extended metaphor that can be represented through hidden meanings. Another literature on this period is ballad. Ballad is a story told in a song. Ballad is also the most important department of English folk literature. Another literature in the medieval period is romance. This is the most prevailing literature on this period because it describes and pictures the adventure and journey of a noble hero. We should never forget Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer is the father of English poetry. He is best known for his work, The Canterbury Tale. This pictures the life of England in the 14th century. This is English Renaissance. After the 100 years of wars and civil wars, nobility has weakened and bourgeois has risen. The power of the church has weakened and the Reformation has strengthened. This period is the rebirth or the revival of the letters. The thirsting curiosity for the classical literature and the strong interest to the activities of humanism as this movement's major features. When we say Renaissance, Humanism is the first thought of discipline because this period emphasizes dignity of human being and importance of present life. Some humanists include Thomas More in his work Utopia and Edmund Spencer in his Fairy Queen. We should also never forget the first English essayist, which is Francis Bacon. Drama is the highest glory of English literature in this period. Some of its writers are William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Ben Jonson.
The period of revolution and restoration in 17th century. The clash between the king and the parliaments. The civil war between 1642 to 1649. Charles I was executed in 1649. The decline of Cromwell's Commonwealth and the compromise with the feudal remnants. John Milton, John Bunyan, and John Dryden is the metaphysical poets. Milton in his art Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained, and Samson Agonist. Bunyan in his art The Pilgrim's Progress. Dryden is the most distinguished literary figure of the Restoration period. The use of heroic couplet in his writing.
So, the period of Enlightenment and Classicism. So, the 18th century. What is the Age of Enlightenment? So, the Age of Enlightenment, or also known as an age of reason, is a progressive intellectual movement to enlighten the whole world with the light of modern philosophical and artistic idea to celebrate reason, the equality in science. The literature that has been implemented during these periods are the School of Classicisms, the rise of a modern novel, sentimentalisms, the pre-romanticisms, and the last one, Sheridan's drama. We also have here the Pope as the most important representative of a classical poetry, Gulliver's Travel by Swift, the Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. So that is all some famous literature during this period. We have here the Romantic period, the turn of 18th and 19th century. So when we say romanticisms, it designates a literary and philosophical theory which tend to see the individuals as the very center of all life and all experience. So the literature of the Romantic period is that Romantic period is the age of poetry. Wordsworth, Coleridge, Byron, Shelley, and Keats are the major Romantic poets, prose writers, and novelists in this period. We have Critical Realist period, the late 19th century. So, critical realist. When we say critical realist in this period, it is sticking to the faithful representation of the 18th century realist novel to critical realists carried their duty forward to the criticisms of the society and defense of the mass. Some other novels from this period, the famous are Oliver Twist. It's about the humanizing works, the house system, and the dark criminal underworld in Underworld's life. So the last one of Charles Dickens' works is The Tale of Two Cities. It is about French Revolution.
The Modern Period, 20th century. Social background is usually philosophical ideas such as rich and poor, war and spiritual, modernism and realistic novels, drama and poetry. Here are some famous literary pieces: A Voyage to Arcturus, Women in Love, Sons and Lovers. On your right is a gallery of prominent English writers. Here are the known pioneers of English literature. We have the famous William Shakespeare, the best-known Renaissance writer known for his creations such as Hamlet and Midsummer Night's Dream. We also have Jane Austen, a famous English novelist. She is known for her famous novel, Pride and Prejudice. Here we have Oscar Wilde, who was actually born in Dublin. He went to college in Ireland. He is a poet, novelist, and a playwright. After roaming around the museum, I hope everyone had a great time familiarizing England and its rich culture and literature. English literature represents the evolving culture and society of the country, and it became source of important values, amusement, and lessons beneficial to life in present time. This ends our tour. Till next time!